Herzlich willkommen zu Unzensiert, der Gesprächsreihe beim Hamburger Filmfest mit freundlicher Unterstützung der Zeitstiftung. Heute ist Denis Cote bei mir zu Gast. Das ist ein kanadischer Filmemacher. Denis Cote, welcome.
Hello.
Nice
Hello.
to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
You just made a documentary that's showing on the Filmfest, and it's called Is Skin So Soft? And I have to admit, as I read that we will talk, and it's about your movie, and your movie is about bodybuilders, my first thought was, okay, haven't we seen all movies about bodybuilders already? But then I saw your movie, and you completely proved me wrong. So my first question would be, why were you so interested in bodybuilders, and what was your special approach?
Well, I had you're always looking for a new subject when you make a new film, and I was coming out of a bigger project. My previous film was called Boris Without Beatrice. It didn't have the success I wanted it to have, so I was looking for a new project, very DIY, very independent, only with 3-4 friends, extreme low budget, something I could do very fast to feel more alive, because the previous film was made with $2-3 million, a big team, a big schedule, and I'm not very good with the industry side of making films, so dealing with too many people and stuff. So I was looking for a simple project we could do with 3 people, 1 car, and that's it, And I had a guy, he's in the film. I've been knowing him for 20 years. He's very eccentric, extremely original, Benoit, if you saw the film. And I thought, okay, I want to make a full documentary on this guy because he's very mysterious. And so I asked him a long time ago, and he said no, but he stayed in my folder projects in my computer, So I started stalking his Facebook page and his friends. I don't know why, because first of all, his Facebook page is really, really, really eccentric. Sometimes it makes no sense, but all his friends, his Facebook friends, are all these guys with no shirts on, 3,000 bodybuilders, huge muscles, 3,000 bodybuilders. So you look at these pictures and you're like, whoa, maybe there's a subject there, So I was looking for original ones, and oh, is that a storm? Okay. So then I started going for a casting, trying to meet the most interesting guys. I knew it was a community of special people, but I was afraid that a lot of these people would be maybe, I don't want to judge them too much, but a little boring, like completely obsessive on their bodybuilding image. The discipline is
They
totally...
actually are,
Most of them are just all day long at the gym, training. They don't have anything to say, really. They never intellectualize what they're doing. They pump all day long, And I was meeting them, and yeah, they were quite boring. I didn't see where I could go with this old subject with these people. But slowly I could find original ones, like the 6 guys you see in the film, for me, are pretty original. And they have something else. Outside the gym, they do something else. So, so it became a film project, and I was a bit scared that all the films that they've been made about bodybuilding, it's a very old subject, and I was like, okay, I need to be original. There's no way I'm going to make the new film about bodybuilding talking to you about the same things. Yeah. The diets, the steroids, why did you become a bodybuilder, with interviews and psychology, the competitions. So,
and you actually have no interviews in
no
the movie.
Interviews.
I mean, you just said that people, they hardly talk about anything interesting, or that was your fear.
So my goal was...
But in the end, they just don't talk at all.
They don't really talk. If you come see the film to learn something, you're in trouble. It's not a film to come and to, oh, I'm going to go see this documentary. It's demystifying the world of bodybuilding. Actually, it is mystifying the world of bodybuilding. When I approached the guys, I said, for me, you are very mysterious. You are modern day gladiators. Your conception of virility, or what a man should be in 2017, is completely out of fashion. It's anachronic. It doesn't make sense to me. but the way you believe in it is kind of touching. I see you as superheroes, and for me, there's something poetic in your way of approaching masculinity. They did not get anything I was saying. And I said, look, I don't want to ask you any questions. I just want my camera to go around you, filming you in your private life, not asking you any question, and the audience will watch you in a... hopefully the audience will be fascinated by what you do and what you represent. So it's going to be a very open object. I will not judge you or anything. So in the end, the film is just 90 minutes of observation of these specimens, you know? So you decide for yourself what you think about these guys, and yeah, I would say it's observational documentary, but there's a lot of fiction in it as well, so yeah, we made the film, like I said, very simply with 3 people, and it's, yeah.
Your film screened at other festivals already. How do people react? Do they ask you, you know, what's behind the story? Do they have all these questions that are not answered in the movie?
Well, the first surprise I got, it started right away with the world premiere in Locarno. I got questions that I would never expect to get. For those of you who saw the film, a lot of people watch the film and they don't know what's staged and what is absolutely real. So for me, making the film, I was like, okay, the audience will see that this is fiction and this is documentary. They will see it. It's obvious because we were doing it. But in Locarno, all the first questions were like, how did you do that scene? Yeah. How was that scene made? Was that for real or is that fake? And I could see that, whoa, people were bluffed. So that was a first surprise for me, that we really blurred the lines between documentary and fiction. And it's again, in every Q&A after every screening, there's always a question like, was that scene staged? So it doesn't mean anything, but for a filmmaker, when you're trying to blur these lines and it's working, you're kind of proud of what you achieved. But
cool, yeah.
Well, it's not the ultimate objective of the film, but so yeah, it seems that people don't really know what they're watching. They don't know what is that object I'm watching, and that's the kind of cinema I like, and that's the kind of cinema I like to make. So
I was kind of fascinated from the very beginning how close you get to your main characters. I mean, I think there are 5 bodybuilders, and the film kind of starts with the morning routine of every one of them. So they're waking up, they're washing their beards, they're eating, they're cleaning their teeth, watching YouTube, and you're so close, and as if you were not even there.
I think they agreed with me. Well, first of all, when you approach these guys, they're not actors. So they say yes to everything because they want to be seen. Of course, if you tell a bodybuilder, would you like to be in a film? It's a dream come true. So anything you're going to ask, they're going to say yes. And you have a responsibility.
You have to protect them. You need an ethic. You cannot make a freak show. And you know that the whole film will be about their own vulnerability. But they're ready to do anything for you. So it's really surprising. So they thought I would make another documentary about bodybuilding. So they were always calling me and asking me, when are you coming to the gym? When are you coming to the gym? For them, I'm going to make a film at the gym. So I was like, no, I want to go to your home and I want to watch you do the dishes. I want to watch you taking care of your child. I want to watch you sleeping on your couch. And they were like, okay. Oh, you won't come to the gym? No, I don't care about the gym. So they were a bit confused, and then they got it. They said, okay, you want to show another face of bodybuilding? Yes. And then they were like, oh, is it an artistic film you're making? Yes. So it was a matter of trust. It was very long, and they never answered the phone. I'm saying that they were calling me, but they're always on Facebook Messenger, and it's 5 words maximum. So that's how they communicate. So you need to be very clever. No phone calls, not trying to say, hey, let's go for a meal, let's go for this. No, it's the gym and their passion only.
and there's a guy there and he wants to make a film, and we don't have time for him. So I had to be very clever sending these short messages like, I'm coming. Okay. So they're a bit like robots. So you need to be very clever in the way to approach their intimacy. So they did it, and they saw the result, and they really love it. Like 2 of the guys cried when they saw the film. I'm like, why are you crying? I don't know. They had no words. But yeah, in the end, I'm really happy with the result. They know I'm respecting them, and maybe we don't learn anything why they are doing that, but I know there's a lot of intimacy and private moments that are very precious in the film.
In the beginning, I mean, it was so weird as well, because you were just talking about these everyday moments, like washing dishes or whatever, and you know how these huge, I mean, they're very huge, like big blokes holding like very tiny babies or very tiny, you know, glasses, and even everything is for perfection, kind of. It felt for me like a meal is nothing they enjoy. They just.
Their discipline is
it's
insane.
Like a little animal-like. It felt like how.
First of all, the discipline is insane. But as soon as they talk, everything has to be for a goal of perfection. You cannot have a normal discussion most of the time with them. What they eat is the best thing, and they will tell you y plus y plus y plus y. It's always like a straight line of perfection. They do this at the gym, and they will explain you why. And everything is so planned, so perfect. But the fun thing is to take them outside that perfection. Just tell one of these guys, okay, you're in the gym, everything is under control, they are in their environment, and you tell one of them, here, take $1 and go buy me a pack of gum, please. They get outside their environment and they become extremely vulnerable, and that's the time to film them, because they are outside the environment. So that's why I'm not making a film in the gym. I want to show them outside in real life what they're going to do. So yeah, you need to break their program, and when they're outside their program, it's really fascinating to watch. You know?
It's fascinating too that it's a complete movie about body and muscles, and there's no sexuality at all.
No. Well, first of all, I like to say that I'm not sure it's a film about bodybuilding. It's a film about 6 men with a passion, and that's enough for me. You know, I could film them, I'm going to sound arrogant saying this, but I could film them collecting stamps, and it's still 6 human beings with a passion, and it's beautiful enough.
But it makes a difference, I think, that it's about the body as well.
Of course. But I mean, the fact that they have this passion was enough for me. So that's why I like to say I'm not sure it's about bodybuilding. But then about your question of sexuality, that is really fascinating, because I've been with these guys for a full year, then a long weekend of 4 days in the countryside. Then I went to see some competitions where people are half naked for a whole day, men and women, and you never feel any inch of sexuality in the air. No sex appeal, no charm, they never go for a flirt anywhere. Their body is not a sexualized entity. Their body is a merchandise.
Something to show and
but
present.
Not a merchandise, but something you need to work on, not something you use for seduction. Mm-hmm. So that's why I disagree when people talk about narcissism. I'm not sure. I think I agree when they tell me it's a sport. They tell me it's a sport and it's sculpture. They sculpt their body. You know, we can laugh when they say that, but it's kind of true. And they talk like sportsmen. So the narcissism, the sexuality, the act of showing, for these really serious bodybuilders, it's not there. A full weekend with a bunch of guys, I never heard a joke about sex, not any allusion, nothing. Maybe you could say, do they have a sex life? I don't know, it's their thing. But it's really surprising. And when they look at each other, they look at each other from head to toe like this. It's really like, and but there's no sexuality in the air. So
Did you-
the body is something you work on. It's not something you use as a communication or how to. It's a merchandise.
Did you look different on yourself afterwards? Did you have another?
No, it's not. I never approached the subject because I was in that community. Never. I never decided to go to the gym or whatever. It's just a bunch of guys, they look touching to me because they had a discipline that I don't have. And that's why maybe it's fascinating to watch the film.
Well, it gives you some new questions about your own body, doesn't it? I mean,
Well, for me, there was something more personal because I have a chronic disease and I'm working, I have a kidney disease and I'm trying to keep what I have, you know. I don't drink, I don't party at night, I go to bed early because I don't have any more kidneys. So I'm trying to protect what I have. And them, they're destroying their body for what? For the target or the ultimate goal is to look great from the outside, but inside they're taking a lot of weird drugs that is hurting their body. So for me, I'm watching them and doing the film, I had this unconscious dialogue with them, like my situation versus their situation. It was just a sort of unconscious dialogue. I didn't learn anything about myself, or I'm not like I'm gonna do like them. I know what they take as drugs and it's not pretty, so. But yeah, I think it was the right moment in my life to make that film because of my condition compared to their condition. But my situation is not in the film. I'm not talking about that. So
I thought maybe for them it's a community thing as well, because even
what?
though they don't even talk to each other, it's still a community. I mean, you just
they
told us
don't
about
have
Facebook, but
no, they don't have a sense of community. They have one friend and one enemy, themselves. They are at war with one person, themselves. It's fascinating. If you can have a bunch of bodybuilders friends on your Facebook, just watch how they use their Facebook. Like, the most famous person can die one day, or they can be a third world war. Everybody's talking about it on Facebook. But the bodybuilders are completely like this, and they're still posting pictures of their chests, their thighs, the calves, they're always taking selfies. They don't care. The world doesn't exist. They are completely obsessed with what they need to achieve, and the world doesn't exist. The world doesn't exist. So this complete obsession with their body is, I'm not sure it's narcissism. Still, I'm just saying they are tormented by their own body, and it doesn't mean they need to show off. They're not.
But you have this scene, you know, this very long scene where one of them tries to make a selfie in the garage, and it takes them very long. And
That's a bit silly. It's a scene that I created with the guy. Of course, it's not for real. I was telling him off camera, I said, you guys are completely obsessed with social medias. And he was like, yes. I'm like, all the time. Like, you don't care. 15 selfies a day on your Instagram. You don't care? No. You like doing that? Yes. Why? It's important, Denis. It's important for my sponsors, for me. People can see where I am, and I'm like, okay, I need a scene in the film where I'm going to show how obsessed you are with social media. I don't care if it's silly, but I need a scene just to show it. And we came up with that silly scene where he's in the garage and trying to take a selfie with tape. And it's a little silly, but for me it says a lot about this culture of social medias. But yeah, I just hope that people watch this film and at first they have all these prejudice about these guys, and when it's over, they're like, okay, these guys are much more complex than I thought, because it's pretty extreme, yeah.
I like the sounds as well. So it's very quiet because nearly nobody is talking, but then you have all these, you can hear a lot of breathing.
Yeah,
we hear all the weights.
We said no music, nothing. Let's concentrate on the skin, the beard, or the muscles and stuff. I knew the film was called A Skin So Soft. In French, it's even more delicate. Ta peau si lisse would mean your skin so soft, which is bad English, but anyway, it became A Skin So Soft. So I knew the film would be very delicate, no music, let's stay very close to the body and let's go somewhere with that, you know.
It's kind of a hint to classic femininity things as well. I mean, even though with the tanning.
I like that. The homoeroticism of that world is absolutely fascinating. Like, we were three, let's say, normal guys, sound, camera, and me, and we're just normal guys. So for us, the body is like, it can be a sexualized object or whatever, and we live in a world there's heterosexuality, homosexuality, and we put things in boxes. But with them, a body is a body. It has no gender. It's really fascinating. So they will watch each other, not caring if it's a male, a female, whatever. A body is just a body. So there's no, like in the end of the film, you can see them putting oil on each other and massaging each other. For us, it's an imagery of homoeroticism, but they don't care. If you tell them, they don't care. Two of these guys danced at some point in the Montreal, in the gay village and gay bars. They danced, and I asked them about that. I said, no, I didn't care. I was just showing my body. I don't care if it's male or female watching me. So they're always surprising the way they talk, and it's great in one sense because nothing is genderized. They don't have issues about sexuality or gender or seduction. They all have one girlfriend since forever, and the girlfriend is also a bodybuilder. So they're very, very strict in everything. And it's strict, but it's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, and you filmed it in a very beautiful way. I mean, all these shots, and my favorite shot was where one was lifting weights, and you see him from the back and then outside. I thought it's probably his mom is cutting flowers in front of the
That's staged.
that stage. So it was beautiful. I mean, it's totally worth it.
Because I'm like, why would I make a bodybuilding film with all the things we think should be in a bodybuilding film, like the heavy music or the techno music or the black and white strong colors, and why make a macho film about a macho culture? So I wanted to oppose some delicacy to that, you know. And in a film like that, everything is a matter of distance and respect, because it's so easy to make a freak show out of these guys. Sometimes they would come to me and propose me something, and it was really freaky. Like they don't even know they don't know when it's kitsch or when it's right, you know. As an example, like the big guy with the beard, at some point he said, hey, you want me to show you what I do at night to relax? Maybe it would be good for your film. Okay, show me. And he bring us in his basement, and he had a bunch of remote controls, and he started opening black lights everywhere in his basement, like 7 black lights.
It's kind of
blue,
scary.
red, yellow, and he was creating an atmosphere. I'm like, okay, this is kitsch. No camera, no sound, nothing. I was just observing. And then he said, oh, and then I have this. And it was an inflatable bed. And there was a little library with books about poetry.
Oh, it's kind of sweet. Come on.
So the bed is so I'm like, ugh. And then he's like, and usually I need some music, you know. He has a DJ station, and he put a little techno, cool, soft music, just to put a little ambience. And he has an electric cello in the corner, lit by a blue-black light, you know. And so I'm like, so what are you doing? So now I'm ready, you know, I have my atmosphere, and I just sit on my bed and I read my poetry, you know. It's his real life. I'm not allowed to film it, you know. It's too cheesy. Even if it's his real life, I'm not allowed to film that and show you that. You would laugh like crazy, and you would laugh at the guy. I protected him. We filmed it to please him, but it's ridiculous. Like, my editor was like, no way, no way, no way. So you see, we need to protect them, because sometimes they will go all the way and it's extremely cheesy and they don't see it. You know, it's a culture of...
But still you tell us, and you seem to be a bit, you know, no, not angry about it, but there's something kind of.
Well, I'm proud that I have this responsibility as a director to protect these guys. A lot of filmmakers would just put that scene in the film. It would be a bit ridiculous, and you go around in film festivals and people are like, ha ha ha, ha, bodybuilders. I'm not allowed to do that,
And in your film, they're actually pretty. I mean, it was more fascinating to see them and see all these, sometimes probably staged scenes as well. But I wonder if there's anything beautiful or special that stayed with you after filming.
Well, I'm not sure I fell in love with the guys. When you make a film, I don't want to sit here and say, oh, they became my close friends. You don't have to become close friends with the guys, but being in contact with such dedication and discipline, it made me reflect on my own work. Like a filmmaker's work is very hard to understand for many people because we don't wake up in the morning, go to work, come back from work and go to bed. It's not a normal day at the shop. So it's been 12 years. I don't have a job. I don't wake up with my alarm clock and I go to work. I'm just a filmmaker trying to imagine new projects. But I still need a discipline. I need a writing discipline. I need to go and call people and go here and there to meet a new subject somewhere. But it's hard. It's so easy to be lazy. So some weeks, not days, some weeks I will not do anything. Like just go in a film festival. What am I doing in a film festival?
It's kind of great you're here.
Nothing. I mean, nothing. I'm talking, but... So it's really easy to feel empty in the film world, like I didn't do anything this week. I did not create anything. And you feel a bit empty sometimes. But meeting these guys, it's the total... It's not the opposite because it's not the same kind of work, but being in touch with this level of discipline made me really admirative of what they do. I don't know if they are athletes. I don't know if they're sportsmen. I don't know if they are crazy. I still don't know why they do that because they're going to turn 40, 50, 60 and it won't mean anything. But they still have a goal and they have a passion. And in real life, a lot of people don't have any goals, no passion, nothing. So even if I don't understand their passion, I still respect it. And that's what I got from that project,
Thank you very much for being here.
Is that over?
It's over.
Wow. Thank you.
All the best for your movie. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, I thought there would be, I don't know, questions. No? Okay.
Maybe afterwards.
It's very short.